Hey there, Mercedes here from PrettyWebz.com, and today I'm going to show you how to do a liquid style painting inside of Procreate. Specifically, I want to show you how to create the little cells that you see inside of these style paintings. I've gotten a lot of requests for this style of tutorial inside of Photoshop. I haven't quite figured it out there, but I do want to show you how I would do it inside of Procreate. So if you are a Photoshop and a Procreate user, you'll be able to do this in Procreate at the very least. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with a new document. So I'm just going to use the screen size for this. In my case, 2732 by 2048. Just grab that. And inside my new document, I'm going to choose like a bluish color. The colors that you use are really up to you, but just try to make them pretty contrasting colors. So like for mine, I'll use this blue and maybe a yellow color. And for the brush that I'm using to add the color in, I'm going to come here to the brush library, and inside of the default brushes, I'm going to come to the texture brushes here. And I'm going to use something like Dove Lake. You can kind of go through and try all of these different brushes. Or you can use just a simple basic brush and just scribble on some color. I just like the texture brushes because it gives me a more interesting stripy contrasted look that I like. But this can be done with any brush. So I'm just going to use that Dove Lake brush. I have this bright yellow. I'm just going to add color. My brush is up to the max. And I'm just going to add this in here. And then I'll probably add another color in here. Maybe like a lighter blue. So something like that. And then add some more yellow on top, because I do want that contrast in there. But I do want those two colors of blue as well. So at this point, we've basically just laid down the colors that we're going to be using. And I'm going to come up here to the little magic wand. So this is the adjustments menu, and I'm going to come down here to Liquify. That's going to bring up this menu down here at the bottom. I'm going to make sure that I'm on push, and my size I'm going to take up to about 80%, pressure max, distortion max, and momentum max. We're going to use this just to push around this color on the screen. It's going to look a lot like liquid, and it's just flowing. Which is what we want for an image like this. When we're done here, we need to make sure to stay inside of the Liquify tool so that we can keep that memory of what we did. And I'll show you what I mean here in a minute, but for now I'm just gonna start moving around this color. And I tend to start getting these stripes only because that's what I like. I really like that contrasted stripe look. Let me bring the size of this down a little bit. Just move this around. Now you can swirl this or, you know, really do anything you want. But I'm just going to go ahead and leave it striped like this. And I'm just trying to give it some type of shape here. I'm just going to add some more of that yellow, maybe bring it over. Okay, so once you get something that you're happy with, I was just trying to keep some type of flow right here in the center so that I could add these little cells, which is what we're going to do next. So once you have everything the way you want it, do not leave the Liquify tool, because as I said before, the program is keeping a memory of what you've done in here while you're inside of the tool. Once you leave the tool, you're going to lose that memory and you're not going to be able to create these cells again. So from here, we're going to come here to construct, and we're going to take the size down to about 30% or so. So between 25 and 30% is fine. And we're going to just reconstruct small areas of what we've done with the Liquify tool. So if you leave the Liquify tool, this is not going to work. So you have to make sure that you're still inside there. And all I'm going to do is start tapping in these areas where I want to add these. So these are a little big, and that's fine. And they're also very uniform in shape and size. So I'm going to come back in, take this down to about 20%. You could take it lower, higher. It's really up to you. And I'm just going to add some more in here. The longer you keep it held down, the more color you're going to get. So I'm just tapping right now, but if I were to leave it held down, you can see how it's giving me a lot more color. So I can just keep tapping, and it's okay if they flow into each other. That's what it would normally do anyway. So you want it to look as normal as possible. I'm going to take this up to about 25%. And just start mixing some of these in together. And just, tapping. And then we'll just take it back down to 20%, or even smaller if you like. We can even go down to like 15% or so and get really small, fine dots in there. But you get the idea of how this works. You can come in here and just add these dots. And if you don't like the colors, I'm going to actually bring this up to about 25%. And bring these dots out here a little bit more. Take it back down to 20. Add some more in between. Okay, and then I'll just leave it as it is. Okay, so now I'm going to come back to push. Now this is optional, but if you don't like the way these are, really uniform circles like this, you can always come back here to push and bring this up to about maybe 60%. 60-65%, and just kind of start moving them around. You can take your distortion down a little bit and even your momentum, and just start moving them around so they don't look so perfect. They look like they're part of this image that you're creating. You just move them around a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and leave that as it is. Now I'm not really happy with the color of the cells, so I can either start over with new colors, or I'm going to just go ahead and get out of Liquify, and I just tapped up here on the little magic wand to do that. And so I'm out of that, and what I'm going to do is come back in here to that magic wand and go to Hue, Saturation, and Brightness. Click on Layer and see if I can find some better colors for this. Something that's going to contrast a little bit more. So I like that one. And I'll take my brightness down a little bit. Maybe take my saturation up. I'm just going to see if I can get something else that stands out a little bit more than the colors that I chose. Because in your head, they might look really nice together, but it doesn't always turn out the way you want it to. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave it like this, which is fine for now. It's so easy, you can just start all over if you wanted to with different colors. I just wanted to give you an example of how you could get those cells in there. Now what I want to do is come back in here, and remember we've already left that Liquify tool. So if I come back in here to the Liquify tool and I try to add more, so I'm going to come here to the Reconstruct area, lower the size right here, and maybe I wanted to add some more down at the bottom. I'm tapping here. And I know you can't see it because I'm screen recording, but I'm tapping here and nothing is happening. I can just swirl all over the screen and it's not going to change anything because it's already erased that short-term memory that it kept for, when I was inside the Liquify tool. Now you can always come back into the Liquify tool and, make adjustments like that, but it is going to affect the entire painting. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to visit PrettyWebz.com for more design resources and tutorials. Until next time, thanks for watching.